Jean Murray was born Jean Stapleton in Manhattan, New York City, on January 19, 1923. She was raised in a household that valued storytelling and the arts. Her father, Joseph Murray, was an advertising salesperson, and her mother, Marie Stapleton Murray, was a professional opera singer. Jean's lifelong passion of performing was greatly influenced by her early exposure to her mother's musical abilities and her family's support of creativity. She would not become famous quickly, but her perseverance, quiet courage, and innate ability to represent common people made her one of the most admired and respected characters on television. Stapleton's acting career started out small in the thriving theater industry of New York. She started polishing her skills on stage after attending Hunter College and then participating in summer stock performances. She then appeared in regional plays that gave her the chance to experiment with humor and drama. Jean's formative years were the 1940s and 1950s, during which she worked relentlessly to perfect her timing and emotional depth while gaining experience in Broadway and off-Broadway shows. Her early theatrical appearances included parts in well-known shows like Funny Girl, Bells Are Ringing, and Damn Yankees. Her ability to combine heart and humor soon established her as a reliable and exceptionally gifted performer. Her theatrical work demonstrated both her technical proficiency and empathy. She had a remarkable talent for bringing audiences to tears and laughter at the same time, a unique talent that would come to characterize her career on television. When Jean Stapleton was chosen to play Edith Bunker on the groundbreaking CBS sitcom All in the Family in the 1970s, her fame peaked. The show, which Norman Lear created, addressed social and political topics that were frequently deemed inappropriate for television at the time. Stapleton rose to fame as Edith, the amiable, compassionate, and occasionally gullible wife of the vocal Archie Bunker, played by Carroll O'Connor. Her depiction of Edith was delicate and complex, combining moral fortitude, innocence, and compassion. In a world full of bigotry and rage, she transformed what could have been a straightforward comic sidekick into a complex figure who stood for decency and compassion. Stapleton received 2 Golden Globes and 3 Emmys for her work on All in the Family. More significantly, though, it won her the affection of millions of spectators. Edith's warmth and knowledge provided solace to the audiences, who frequently saw in her the spirit of their own mothers, grandmothers, or neighbors. Jean developed a persona that went beyond television with her friendly demeanor, melodic laugh, and unshakable belief in kindness. Edith Bunker was more than simply a character, according to many supporters. She served as a reminder that despite adversity, individuals can still be nice. One of the most poignant moments in television history occurred when Stapleton decided to quit the character of Edith in the spin-off series Archie Bunker's Place, and Edith was written out. Both on television and in her audience's hearts, her absence was profound. Stapleton kept acting in theater, TV, and films after All in the Family, constantly looking for jobs that spoke to human truth and pushed her. She demonstrated her range and charm by appearing in films including Clute, 1971, Something Wild, 1986, and You've Got Mail, 1998. She demonstrated her emotional versatility when she played Eleanor Roosevelt on stage in the one-woman musical Eleanor, Her Secret Journey, and a great regard for strong female role models. She never lost her interest or her commitment to creating stories, even as she grew older. Acting, in her opinion, is about bringing people together via empathy and honesty rather than about becoming famous. One of the most significant and enduring partnerships of Jean Stapleton's life, both personally and professionally, was her marriage to William H. Putch. In 1957, as Jean was still establishing her reputation as a theater and television actress, the couple got married. While William Putch was already establishing himself as a reputable producer and director, she was working in the New York theater industry at the time, appearing in both Broadway and off-Broadway productions. In addition to being a union of love, their marriage symbolized a creative collaboration between 2 individuals who were well aware of the rigors and sacrifices associated with a career in the arts. The Totem Pole Playhouse, a summer theater in Fayetteville, Pennsylvania, was founded and run by William H. Putch. During the summer, this rural theater doubled as a family home and a professional outlet, becoming an integral part of their lives. Together, They fostered the Playhouse into one of the most prestigious regional theaters in the U.S., and Jean Stapleton frequently appeared there when she took breaks from her work in television and films. Mutual regard for one another's abilities was a defining feature of their collaboration. Jean's warm, perceptive, and profoundly human performances brought characters to life, while William's steady and imaginative hand led productions behind the scenes. Throughout their marriage, the couple maintained a strong sense of family and purpose while juggling the demands of a demanding industry. Together, they reared John Putch and Pamela Putch, two kids who were motivated by their parents' hard work and inventiveness to pursue professions in entertainment. Known for their closeness, the family frequently spent summers together at the Totem Pole Playhouse, where the theater community grew to be like one big family. People who worked with the pair frequently talked about the happy, cooperative atmosphere they fostered, which combined diligence, humor, and a profound regard for the arts. Long-lasting love and adoration were hallmarks of John and William's marriage until his tragic death in 1983. Since they had spent almost 25 years of life and art together, John was devastated by his passing. Stapleton has mentioned in interviews how much she cherished their time together and their collaborative work. After his passing, she kept up her support of the Totem Pole Playhouse, supporting the preservation of her husband's theater and his legacy. In addition to preserving his soul, her involvement showed how devoted and fond she was of the guy who had been her spouse, partner, and closest confidant. Jean Stapleton's relationship with William kept her grounded even as her celebrity skyrocketed because to her part as Edith Bunker on All in the Family. In addition to being her spouse, he served as a mentor who pushed her to pursue her artistic goals and take chances. Their union served as a lasting illustration of how two creative individuals might coexist together while juggling artistic cooperation and personal commitment. In a lot of ways, Jean's relationship with William H. Putch gave her the emotional stability and affection she needed to perform with such warmth, compassion, and genuineness. She grieved William's death in 1983, but she also continued to honor his memory in whatever she did. For many years, she kept performing, frequently selecting parts that mirrored her own complexity and sensitivity, qualities that had been reinforced by their common experience. The couple's friends often said that Guillaume never ceased to speak of William with love and affection, recalling him as the great love of her life in addition to being a talented filmmaker. Their relationship is still regarded as one of Hollywood's most subdued yet timeless love tales. It is based on mutual enthusiasm, inventiveness, and the profound bond of two people who are passionate about the same art and each other. Fans all throughout the world were devastated by the death of adored actor Carroll O'Connor in June 2001. O'Connor was most famous for playing Archie Bunker on All in the Family. In a move that sparked public interest and even some criticism at the time, his co-star Jean Stapleton, who portrayed his tolerant and devoted wife Edith Bunker, was conspicuously absent from his funeral. But, as Stapleton would subsequently clarify, her absence was motivated by personal conviction and deep respect rather than apathy or emotional detachment. Jean Stapleton and Carroll O'Connor had one of the longest-running collaborations in television history for almost 10 years, from 1971 to 1979. Television humor was redefined by their on-screen chemistry as Archie and Edith Bunker, who made All in the Family a cultural phenomenon. Together, they gave authenticity to roles that could have easily devolved into caricature while humorously and emotionally exploring topics of race, gender, class, and family. The two had a strong professional regard and admiration for one another off-screen. O'Connor once hailed her as the heart and soul of their groundbreaking play, and Stapleton frequently described her as a wonderful performer and a complicated, profoundly thinking man. Many anticipated that Stapleton would take front stage at O'Connor's funeral when he passed away, standing to honor him among his family and longtime co-workers. But when she decided not to go, rumors started to circulate. Were the two at odds with one another? Had their friendship soured in the years following the conclusion of the show? Ever kind and considerate, Stapleton responded to the conjecture tactfully and clearly. In a subsequent interview, she stated, "I loved Carroll dearly. But it was Archie and Edith who introduced me to him. The shared life of the two personalities was distinct from their individual lives. That, in my opinion, marked the start and finish of our adventure together." I didn't want to mix it up with the fact that he had died. Stapleton saw her relationship with O'Connor as deeply creative, based on the craft, the work, and the made-up marriage that had captured the imaginations of millions. In her imagination, going to his funeral would have been like erasing the distinction between life and art, which she was always careful to avoid. She clarified that I bid farewell to Edith Bunker and Archie as well when we were done with the family. A chapter was closed. I wanted to respect that line. Her remarks show that she is a principled and deeply reflective woman. Jean Stapleton was neither aloof nor icy. She was just a very private individual who approached her work from an artistic and spiritual perspective. She believed that public mourning was unnecessary for O'Connor. She added softly, "I paid my respects in my own way. I bid farewell in my heart." Stapleton's friends later said that on the day of the funeral, she had prayed and lighted candles for O'Connor. She had always been deeply spiritual, but not in the traditional sense, as those who knew her well knew. She saw that art itself might act as a monument, and her conception of life, death, and legacy was intertwined with something more than the present. In a way, her continuous homage to O'Connor's memory was already the tears and laughter that Archie and Edith delivered to living rooms across America. After hearing O'Connor's justification, many of her supporters began to respect her logic. After all, their on-screen collaboration was permanently captured. Each All in the Family rebroadcast serves as a reminder of their combined genius. They depicted humor, frustration, and tenderness that never went out of style. As Stapleton once remarked, Carroll's work speaks by itself. People are still thinking and laughing because of what we offered them. We couldn't ask for a better homage than that. Stapleton frequently spoke of O'Connor with affection and appreciation in her senior years as she looked back on her lengthy career. She frequently said how proud she was to have been a part of something that permanently altered American television, and she credited him with helping to push television humor to new heights. She was not present for his funeral, but her love for him was unwavering. She said, "He was my partner in the purest form. He improved my acting skills. Additionally, we worked together to produce something that neither of us could have done on our own." Some people may have first been perplexed by Jean Stapleton's choice to skip Carroll O'Connor's funeral. In actuality, however, it was the choice of a considerate artist who saw the value of personal and artistic boundaries. Her decision demonstrated a deep regard for the private aspect of mourning, as well as an awareness that love and remembering don't always call for a public display. In her own calm, respectful manner, Jean Stapleton lamented not only the actor who portrayed Archie Bunker, but also the inspiration behind her creation of Edith Bunker. The world said goodbye to one of television's most cherished characters on May 31, 2013, when Jean Stapleton, 90, died quietly in her Manhattan apartment. For fans who had loved her for decades as the endearing, compassionate, and iconic Edith Bunker on All in the Family, her passing signaled the end of an era. Millions of people were impacted by Stapleton's warmth, grace, and calm dignity in addition to the loss of a talented actor. Her humility and unwavering refusal to let celebrity change her made her a source of great admiration, even in her latter years.